Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. Now today in this video, we're going to talk about something really dear to me, and I feel that could give you a good idea of what happens or what to look for when a market crashes. And some of you might remember it. Obviously, some of you might be older than me. When I was in school, that's when the market crashed in 2008. I was actually in third or second year university, and what happened there was that I didn't even know what was happening. And I didn't really care about money back then, but I started studying about money like right after graduation. I started the YouTube channel, not this one. If you're thinking, hey, I started this channel, no. I mean, my 500,000 channel, and of course my other 250,000 is where I started, right? And they're mostly video games, but aside from doing those things, right? I mean, I have always felt that life is like a game. I mean, you either go up really quickly, like, level up, right? Make a lot of money, or you pretty much just, you're at stage one, act one, and you're not really doing anything for the rest of your life. So, life is like a game to me, and I want to help and share my information that I guess I've gathered throughout the years. And one of them is 2008. I mean, I was in university back then. I didn't care about money at all. But after graduation, you had student loans, and then you didn't want to be a loser after you graduate. Everybody's looking down on you, dude. I mean, you can't get a job at McDonald's or something. Hell, why would I want to work at McDonald's? So anyways, going back, I mean, I've been waiting for this, this recession, this big crash to happen, like for over 10 years. Unfortunately, it's really taken that long. And I did a lot of studies, and, one of the things that really stuck to me is one of the guys in I think the UK or something, he said that he was dreaming of a recession, right? And that if you look that up, I think his name is Alessio Rossani. So anyways, he said he was dreaming of a recession. I didn't really know what that meant back then, but now, after so many years, now I know. The thing is, I was looking at somebody's portfolio, right? And I follow this guy a lot. And you see that he actually posted how much he made. So basically, from 2000 to like 2008, he was making like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. And then, sometimes they're up and down, right? But basically, under 60, 70,000 and per year. And, once it hit 2008, it's like, bam, you think that, hey, everything goes down, right? And everything does. But if you make a right decision, he literally made $1.1 million. And then the next year, it was like 2 point something million. The third year was like 3 point something million. Yeah, it just went on. I mean, 1 million is good enough for me, man. I don't need that much. But, what I want to talk about is how do you know when you're in a full-fledged recession, or, pretty much the market is about to drop. The thing is, I think last week is like the Dow dropped a historic low, right? I mean, like, it's just huge, like over 1,000 points. And today it rallied 1,290 something. So that's historic highs too. So is it going to drop any further? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we're not in a recession, but can you imagine when we're in a recession? It might drop even more. It might not. It depends on the Fed and what they're doing, right? And as well as the bank. So, Bank of Canada for if you're in Canada like me. So anyways, I'm going to talk a bit about what happened in 2008. It's very dear to me because I think one of my most painful time was in 2008. So during this, downturn, when crashes, when things happen, the thing is, a lot of things happens. I mean, you're thinking, oh, it's just normal. We're in a recession. No, I mean, you go to the store, all right, the mall, and you see like most of them, some of them are like, well, most of them are like store closing, like Radio Shack when I went in there. And some of these, like a lot, just a lot of stores, clothing stores is saying that, they're closing, right? And it's like 70% off, 50% off, 80% off. I don't know the numbers, but somewhere around there. And it's like final sale and everything like that, as far as I remember. So that's one thing to look for. But the second thing is actually like your neighbors, friends, family, if somebody got fired or laid off and for like, because they just can't support the employees, then, that's also a sign. Of course, if you see foreclosure signs in your neighborhood or something, that's also a sign. And I think the biggest thing is actually because of all this, right? When you get fired, what happens? You don't have money just to support yourself, right? And it's not just you. It might be your wife too. So there's like two people, right? And you're looking for a job and you're really stressful. Now you're asking people for money. And, that's when you're like, maybe this is something bad is happening. And check out your neighbors. Sometimes your neighbor might have gotten fired, and that's also a bad sign. But the worst thing, it's really going down, is when you hear neighbors, friends, or family say something like this. Oh yeah, I was at work, and basically this younger guy was saying, oh, I should retire because, I'm taking a space as employee or, a position when a younger person could whatever that, basically telling me to retire, even though I'm not 65. But that's when you really know it's really going downhill, because I had known people where not just one person, but usually some of the younger folks, like 30 or something, they're telling people like around 60, 65 to just retire, get out of there. I mean, you're sitting here, you're like pretty much taking up the space, because I don't want to get fired, right? Because they're 30, they just got a house, right? So I don't want to get fired. So they're telling those people to to retire. So you see a lot of that. And then you see a lot of arguments. When you get fired, what happens? You argue about money. And that's just one of the things when you start arguing about money, or hearing stories of, wife or husband arguing over money, something's wrong. And, that is one thing that I really, really remember, because it was such a toxic atmosphere. It's almost like everybody was like, everybody for themselves, basically. It's like, now it's like, oh yeah, we understand you. And then, no, I mean, when this shit happens, they're all like, basically you die first, right? That's just how it is. Unfortunately, I don't want to say it that way, but it's true. So 2008, a lot of people got fired. Even my neighbor got fired, my friends, family, they got fired. Even my dad got fired, right? So, that is one thing you really, really got to pay attention to. And let me put up a chart. All right, guys, it's very funny. I noticed the video when I'm like, it makes me look a lot fatter because my shoulders are like small, right? So anyways, it's very funny. But anyways, I want to talk about the gold chart here. This is macro trend, right? This is the website, and basically it gives you an estimate, or not an estimate, the historic price of gold. So we're going to unclick inflation adjusted, and I'm going to go to 20-year. And they don't really give you the exact time frame, but I'm going to go around 2007. So here's 2007, right? And we're going to go, straight to 2011. So this is 2008, right? So this is where apparently the recession started. But nobody knew that, right? It was only until I think around August. No, actually no. All right. So we were pretty much around here. I think it was either like somewhere here where they said we were in a recession, right? So I was in school, because school ends around May, right? So anyways, then it started dropping. And this is actually the major drop. You're looking at it, hey, that's a major drop. It's like, so you could have about, how much is this? 900 to 700. So that's about a $200 drop, right? I mean, but the thing is, in the bigger scheme of things, if you zoom out, and damn it, I can't zoom out anymore. But if you look at it here, like this is the gold price, right? So, and there's a major drop here, but there might be another major drop. I don't know. I mean, this one only dropped $200, or around 200. Let's just say 300 to kind of make it sound better. But you could have a $200 to $300 or even more drop when the shit hits the fan, right? And since this could be like this has been going up just like now, and this could have been the simple drop here, right? From 900, if you look at this, right, from 900 to, 960. So 970 to about, hey, that's almost a $70 drop, or, just like right now. And then it could go up a bit. Maybe I'm going to sell my stocks at this point. I mean, damn, I'm looking at this and this looks very, very familiar. I mean, you have people like Peter Schiff telling you to buy, buy, buy. I'm like, I'm looking at this. Let's say it hit this, right? And then it goes down $70. If you look at this historically, right? So it goes down $70 and then it goes up a bit, about $30, and then it goes down a bit more. So, this might, you might, I don't know, I might shave some position off when it goes up a bit in the next few days or weeks. But eventually, I think that there might be a bigger drop. There might not be. Obviously, I mean, it's not the exact same thing. No two crises are the same. But, if it drops down like a few $100s, you definitely need to have some dry powder to jump in there. Obviously, there's no guarantee. But as you know, no market goes up in a straight line. So even if it doesn't drop, let's say we're here, right? Let's look at this a bit. So let's say we reached this and then it went down a bit, and then it goes down a bit more, and then it goes up, but it still drops down a bit. So, if that happens, you might want to get in a little higher, but I don't know. I might wait for this, but I already have some of the gold stocks, mining stocks already. I got to say that in 2 years ago, one of the silver stocks, right? You probably know it. I'm not going to say it, but you probably know it. It's very popular, very famous. Silver stock is like the top silver stock. That one 2 years ago was about, $9 and to $10. And then it went up to like, I think $14 not just a few months ago. And now it dropped back down to $10. And I actually, if that drops a bit more, I'll probably get in. I already got in, but I have a feeling it will go up to like $13 again or $12, and then it will probably drop. It might drop down again when there's bigger news. But, you want to be in there. You want to, I don't know, have some dry powder if you are, or you might want to wait. I don't know. I mean, these things, nothing is the same, right? But nothing goes up in a straight line too. So you can be greedy, but don't be too greedy. So this time, last Friday, it dropped about $70. It might not be enough. It might need to drop like $100 or $200 and then, or $300. And then I think, if it does drop $100, first thing I do is probably I might sell some of the stuff and wait for another drop and then wait for another drop. And then if there's 2 drops, I'll probably buy in. But anyways, I mean, that's just my plan. I just wanted to share with you guys what I'm seeing right now. And I think, in the greater scheme of things, it doesn't really matter if you buy here, okay, or, let me go up here. It doesn't matter if you buy here, or here, or here, because what happens? It's still going up here. I guess there's a problem if you buy here, right? I mean, if you buy there, right at the top, there's a big problem. But, when you see a major sell-off like the one we had already, that might be here. It might not be, but, in a few months, you'll probably know. And then, we're off to the races. Damn, if I sit up close to the camera, it really makes me look fat, doesn't it? Especially when I'm leaning forward, too. It's like, Anyways, I put up a chart, hopefully. What I want to do is show you when is the best time to buy. I mean, everybody wants to buy at the low, right? And essentially in 2008, there was this major sell-off. Hopefully I mentioned it. And what happened is that's when you really want to buy, right? But I'm not sure if we're at that point yet. Right now, obviously there's a sell-off, but I don't think it's that major. I don't see anything happening. I don't see people talking about a recession. Sure, you got an election coming up, and it might not be the same, but I'm already in it. But when that happens, if that happens, I will pull out more money, and I will definitely put more in, because that is the best time if you want to make some money and make sure that, hey, your lifestyle is comfortable, right? Sometimes a little money can go a very long way at the right time with the right stock or the right, market, even if you're in like some other market. But I'm personally, I know people that have already, they put like, they're borrowing like millions of dollars to invest in gold, stocks, or stuff like that. And I'm not into those things. I mean, I don't know, it's pretty dangerous to me, in my opinion. I prefer to just get the stocks myself, even though you'll probably make less, right? But it's just how I play it safe, right? I know friends that have they lost so much money and they basically just exited the market and they got into real estate, and that's the only thing they know. That's the only thing they have, in fact, a house, and that's about it. But they borrowed a lot of money, like $5,000 mortgage per month, and I'm like, wow, you only make $3,000, and after tax and everything, you have $2,000. So yeah, I mean, they're just basically holding up the thing. But if interest rate goes up, who knows if it will go up? But most likely it will go down, because the bank is probably going to cut interest rate. I'm not sure. I mean, the bank is going to announce it in 2 days. So my guess is that they will cut. That's my guess. Or, Polos is very, very stubborn. So he pretty much refuses to cut unless the Fed cuts. So, if he doesn't cut this time, he will cut in the next meeting, because I think the Fed is going to cut this time, right? So anyways, going back. So 2008, I remember Blockbuster went bankrupt and things were just going bankrupt like crazy. And those are the signs, as bad as it sounds, right? I mean, shit. It's not like I'm saying, oh, I'm happy everybody is going bankrupt and like, getting fired and stuff. But why do you want to die with the bro? I mean, if everybody is going bankrupt, including you, don't you want to save your family as well? It's almost like everybody falls into the sea, right? And pretty much you have two hands. You could save your wife and your child, or you're pretty much going to let them die along with everybody else. And since, if you have the intelligence, you might as well just, do what you can to save them and yourself, and share the video as well as information with other people so that they don't fall into the ocean and pretty much is left with no lifeboat or, lifesaver thing, man, life jacket. I mean, it is crazy that a lot of older people, and I know a lot of old people, because they have a pension, they think, oh, everything is fine, right? No, I mean, the thing is, their pension, if it was like 30 years ago, which is 1,500, right? In Canada anyways, it goes a long way if it was 30 years ago. But in the year 2020, 1,500, what is that worth? I mean, I don't even want to begin. I mean, it can't even pay rent. I mean, if you're moving out to a condo and stuff, I think rent is like $2,000 already. So 1,500, sure. If you have food, it's fine. I mean, if you have a house, it's fine. If you don't have a house, 1,500. Let's say your rent is $500, and you only get one room. You don't even get the entire house, right? So, what is that worth? I really don't get some of the older people. I mean, they don't like me talking about it because I'm younger. Okay, I mean, especially those that are like in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. They don't like me talking about it because I'm younger, and they think they know best. Unfortunately, most of them don't know best, because if they knew best, they wouldn't be depending on the pension. And then the pension isn't worth anything afterwards, right? I mean, when you start buying stuff, it's going to be gone. And most of them, I got to say, even my father, which is very, very disappointing. I mean, considering the fact that I study like my ass off every day, right? Reading economics, reading about news, listening to videos, listening to other things. But my father, my very own father, is busy like chatting online with like younger females. Not that I have anything wrong, not that there's anything wrong with that, but he's busy watching movies, and he's on a pension, right? And when this thing happens, he's not dead yet. So, when this thing happens, and it will happen, it's just a matter of when, and it looks like it might be happening soon. When this happens, I feel like it'll be back at 2008 again. So what will happen is people are going to start asking you, right, for, help. And it's going to be very bad. Especially sometimes when you don't have the money, you're like, oh, I can't. Especially, if your friend comes to you, oh, I need money for this month's mortgage. If I don't, if I don't get money, they're gonna take my house away, and then my kids and my wife and me, I don't have anywhere to live. And then you're like, how much is your mortgage? Oh, my mortgage is $5,000. Lend me $5,000. So, what are you gonna say? I mean, I don't know that many people with $5,000 to lend you for a month, and then it's $5,000 per month. That's like $10,000 in 2 months. So it's always good to protect yourself because when it comes, it's not a matter of if, right? It is a matter of when. When it comes, at least you can help some of the people you love. I mean, there are some people you just don't give two shit about because they are just bad friends and they come to you when they need help and they don't really care, right? I mean, even if you tell them to sell the house now because they don't have enough money to mortgage the house, they're greedy. They're like, oh, I have the house, it's going up. But when it goes down, right, like I was saying, it's pretty much during a recession, and that's what a recession is like. I gotta say, it's very, very bad. You can't save everybody, but those that will listen, that will, try to protect themselves and their family, you can help, right? But like even some of the people I talk to, I made a video already recently. I said that, when the recession happens and then they do all these money printing and whatever response to try to prop up the market again, their currency is going to go down in value, and assets like gold is going to go up. And while I feel real estate will go up too, right? The problem is really during that time when there's that downturn, when people are like saying they need money to pay their mortgage, or when the companies are going bankrupt. You see, during that time, that's when the people that can't pay the mortgage will go bankrupt, which means what I believe is that the housing will go down. But after they respond to the problem that has happened, housing will go back up eventually. And who knows how long that'll take. But they will flush out those people that can't afford it. A lot of people think housing will always go up. Yeah, it will go up in the long term. But what will happen in between that downturn? Can you pay that mortgage? I mean, if I had a $5,000 mortgage, I wouldn't be able to pay that. Are you crazy? I mean, they are crazy. A lot of my friends are crazy, and they're around 30. So you kind of know what they're, how they are. And, they make about $3,000. Their wife makes around $3,000. So they have $6,000. They're like, we'll penny pinch this. And then, we'll rent out the basement, and then we'll get a few thousand there, and we'll just make the cut. And, when it goes down, it goes down. It's just like gold, You see that gold went down like $70 in one day. I mean, that could happen to some of the people that can't pay for the house, the mortgages. Now, I'm not saying it'll go down $70, but it'll go down that sharply when it happens. And when that happens, get ready your money and, let's play this game. That's what I've been waiting for a very long time. And it is very much like a game. People think I'm kind of crazy because I'm thinking, investing's like a game. No, it is like a game. Have you ever, I played video games for my entire life, right? And one of the games I played when I was very little is Diablo 2. And it's not like I play the game and I go there and grind, right? So what happens is I go into the market and I trade stuff. I trade one item for another item, and then I try to trade that item to double on the other item that I traded. So, it is like a game. It's just that a lot of older people don't see it that way because they can't figure out the connection, right? I mean, life is pretty much like a game, and I think 2008 was a huge game for a lot of people that I guess that knew what they were doing at the time. And I'm betting that time is going to come soon. And I am totally ready to play this game. And hopefully everybody else is as well. So you can, make a lot of money. Not only that, make sure you're able to help others make money because, hey, you don't want all your friends and family asking you for help, right? Because that's just horrible. When let's say you bought the stock and then you have a family member that's going bankrupt and they're like, oh, can you sell your stock to like help me pay for my mortgage or something? And you're like, what the hell, man? Like, I'm ready for this. I'm here to make like $1 million. And you're telling me to pull this out to save your life, and they're on their knees begging you. And, maybe it's your sister or something, and then your father's on his knees begging you. You don't want that. I mean, if you tell them now and they don't listen, you could say, hey, I told you. I told you to do this, and you're telling me to pretty much give up my life for something you did not listen to because you're greedy. Maybe it's a time for you to sell the house and pretty much deal with life. Because people that don't listen and then end up bad, you can't really help them. I mean, but you have to at least try, right? So anyways, I'm making this video because it's very, very dear to me. Because back then, the relationship problems, the parents almost getting fired, and then mom and dad yelling at each other. Money is a big part of people's life. And when the time comes and you want to prepare for it, it'll make your life a lot easier. You will have less problem with relationship. Even your wife might say, hey, my husband's very smart, man. Like he already invested a lot of his thing, even though it's a recession now and everybody is like, complaining, we're doing fairly well, right? So you want to do that. You don't want to be like the guy that pretty much, goes down with everybody else. But I'm just making this video because I want to share this with you guys and make sure everybody else is doing fine. But I got to say, I don't know if it has already passed because, there was a big sell-off, and obviously I don't know if that sell-off is enough. I mean, my uncle, right, he made $5 million or like, millions of dollars, somewhere around $5 million, and he lost like $1 million or $2 million. And this is back in the dot-com bubble, right? And who knew that the stock would go up? He sold it all, right when the dot-com was crashing. And then, but at least he made a few millions for his family to live well. So that's what you want to do too. But, hopefully, I know this is kind of boring video, but, get ready. I think the time is coming, and I waited a very long time. I don't have that much money, but, I'm going to try to put everything in, at least kind of be like my uncle and see what happens.